Stupidity always gets away with its own evils and wickednesses and vices in one way or another from and by both man and women's behaviors, actions, attitudes, habits. There is always an unconditional and unbridled and basically unintegrated kind of not only unconscious content, shadow material which they refuse to see, acknowledge in and about themselves, but also there is an inevitable kind of stupidity, pride, vanity, mediocrity, envy, competition that they constantly wage against each other inside of the modern society, not because they are bad, but because they are trained and taught to do all that or to be all that by the different institutions and organizations, or basically family, politics, society, education, religion, etc., in one or another. But another fundamental and imperative problem with all stupidity in the world is that it never acknowledges itself. Stupidity never acknowledges its own evils, problems, and vices, as a result of which it always perpetuates, spreads, and continues with its unreasonable and unacceptable, unjustifiable behavior, action, character, not only in the present but also into the future in one or another. Because obviously the stupid people never see anything wrong, unacceptable, unfair about or in their actions, behaviors, habits, because they are driven by the unconscious and they are led by the shadow inside of themselves, and they are also basically governed and controlled by ignorance, arrogance, pride, vanity, which is kind of overwhelming and unbearable. And because of their ignorance, because of their unintegrated shadow and pride, vanity, temptation, because of this multifaceted, multidimensional evil that exists inside of themselves and dominates, plagues, controls their behaviors, actions, habits, they are kind of untrustworthy, unreliable, unkind, anyways. And they project all that unprocessed, unintegrated evil, particularly upon the man of clarity, transparency, defiance, individuality, truthfulness, authenticity, understanding, gravity, etc. And that means the individual man will always be somehow, some way scapegoated. He will always become the victim of basically uncircumstantial criticism, condemnation, judgment, opposition, particularly by the open minded, highly educated, successful mass, herd, tribe, whatever you want to call them. But they will continue with their unconscious stupidity. They will never see, acknowledge their shadow, their evils, their inward demons, as well as their stupidity. That will continue, but will be criticized for our real behavior, for our virtues, for our qualities, for our values. So this is a reverse society that criticizes the good and promotes